The movie kicks off with an explosive heist. In Chicago, Harry Rawlings and his crew meet their end when their van is blown up during a tense police standoff. They'd just stolen $2 million from a crime boss named Jamal Manning. Harry's wife, Veronica, is left to pick up the pieces, grieving the loss of both her husband and their shared life. At the funeral, Veronica buries Harry beside their late son, Marcus. Jack Mulligan, who knew Harry well, attends the service and offers his support to Veronica. Meanwhile, Jamal and his brother Jadam watch from a distance. The other widows, Amanda, Alice, and Linda, are also grappling with their losses. Amanda, juggling a newborn, is overwhelmed. Alice is left with no way to maintain her posh lifestyle. Linda faces accusations from her mother-in-law, who blames her for her husband Carlos's death, claiming he turned to crime to support Linda and the kids. Basically, all four women are in deep trouble. Things get worse for Veronica when Jamal pays her a visit. He demands the $2 million Harry stole, saying he needs it for his political campaign. To drive home the seriousness of the situation, Jamal grabs Veronica's small dog, Olivia, by the collar and gives her 2 weeks to pay up. Meanwhile, Jack Mulligan is running for alderman in the 18th Ward, following in the footsteps of his father, Tom. Tom, a former political heavyweight, pressures Jack to ensure their family maintains its legacy by beating Jamal in the election. Tensions rise as Jack and Jamal clash at Jamal's campaign office, which operates out of a church. Veronica, feeling trapped, refuses to sell her home despite her financial troubles, as it holds too many memories. Desperate for answers, she meets a man named Bobby Welsh at a bowling alley. Bobby hands her a notebook left by Harry, filled with details of his past heists. Among them is a plan to steal $5 million from Jack Mulligan's house. Veronica tries to bargain with Jamal by offering him the notebook, but he isn't interested. He just wants his money. Out of options, Veronica decides to carry out the heist herself. She approaches the other widows, knowing they're just as desperate as she is. While Amanda, tied up with her baby, can't join, Alice and Linda eventually agree after realizing they have no other way out. As the plan starts to come together, Jamal seeks an endorsement from Reverend Wheeler, who seems to lean toward the Mulligans. Meanwhile, Jadam tracks down Bobby and violently forces him to admit he gave Harry's notebook to Veronica. Jadam later calls Veronica to confirm if she sold it, and she lies, claiming she did. Veronica splits the tasks among the group. She assigns Alice the job of acquiring a car and a gun, while Linda is tasked with figuring out blueprints from the notebook. Alice overpays for a van at an auction and struggles with her driving skills, prompting Veronica to consider hiring Harry's old driver, Bash. Alice also manages to buy guns with the help of a woman who bypasses the legal paperwork for her. Linda tries to decode the blueprints but struggles to identify the target location. She visits a man whose house might be the one in the plans, posing as an employee of the company that owns the property. However, she slips up by mentioning his wife, who he reveals passed away 4 months ago. The emotional weight of her own loss leads Linda to break down, and she leaves after an awkward moment. Alice and Linda visit a shooting range to prepare, but Linda's poor aim becomes a concern. Trouble escalates when Bash is killed by Jadam, leaving the women scrambling for a new driver. Meanwhile, Alice follows her mother's advice and joins an escort site, where she meets David, a real estate executive. David recognizes the blueprints as part of Jack Mulligan's safe house, giving the group a critical lead. Veronica, still searching for a driver, visits Amanda's home. Amanda is cold and distant, ignoring Veronica's presence while tending to her baby. As Veronica looks around, Amanda's dog barks at a closed door. Near the door, Veronica spots a bottle of brandy, a drink her husband used to favor. She grows emotional, sensing something is off. When Veronica leaves, the door opens and Harry steps out. The shocking twist reveals that Harry faked his death. A flashback shows how he orchestrated the setup, using a decoy in the driver's seat and firing shots to provoke the police into attacking the van, which he then detonated, killing his crew and escaping unscathed. Harry's secret dealings come to light when we see him on a boat with Jack Mulligan. Turns out the two have been working together all along. Jack had Harry pull off the heist to steal Jamal's campaign funds, which worked out perfectly for both of them. Jumping back to 2008, a flashback reveals Harry and Veronica's son, Marcus, making an illegal U-turn to drop something off at Harry's house. Tragically, he was pulled over by a cop and fatally shot after failing to raise his hands quickly enough. Marcus's death drove a wedge between Harry and Veronica. Harry found comfort with Amanda and started plotting an escape from his marriage. The heist and his staged death were part of his plan to leave everything behind and start fresh with Amanda. However, Harry had to give half of the stolen money to Jack as part of their deal. When Harry didn't hold up his end of the bargain, Jack began blackmailing him, threatening to expose everything to Veronica. Stuck in a bind, Harry gave Veronica the notebook with plans for a $5 million heist, hoping she'd carry it out and unknowingly hand the money over to him. Ever since visiting Amanda's place, Veronica has had a gut feeling Harry might still be alive. She's consumed by the thought that her husband may have betrayed her, but she keeps her suspicions to herself. The heartbreak of losing Marcus, combined with the weight of Harry's betrayal and Jamal's looming threats, leaves her emotionally drained. Despite everything, she stays focused on the heist. The team still needs a driver, and Linda spots potential in her quick-footed friend, Belle. Initially hesitant, Veronica agrees to let Belle join after seeing her no-nonsense attitude. As part of the plan, Veronica visits Jack under the pretense of asking for protection from Jamal. Secretly, she's scoping out Jack's home and identifying his safe house. Belle stakes out the area, noting entry and exit points, cameras, and security guards. In a stroke of luck, Veronica stumbles upon a major advantage. She finds compromising photos of Ken, the CEO of the Mulligan security firm, with his niece. Using the photos as leverage, she forces Ken to give her the codes to the Mulligan safe. With everything in place, the team decides to pull off the heist that night. Belle creates a diversion by setting off flares, which draws the security guards away from the house. Veronica, Linda, and Alice slip inside, masked and equipped with voice modulators. They reach the safe and grab the money, but on their way out, they encounter Tom Mulligan, Jack's father. Tom orders them to drop their weapons, unmasks Veronica, and shoots Alice in the shoulder. In the chaos, Linda shoots and kills Tom, allowing the women to escape. As they head to the getaway van, they find Jadam holding Belle at gunpoint. He hijacks the van with the money, but the women chase him down in another vehicle, ramming the van and causing Jadam to crash. He doesn't survive the wreck. Veronica retrieves the money, and Linda rushes Alice to the hospital to treat her gunshot wound. Veronica takes the cash to their hideout, but her relief is short-lived. Harry shows up, and Veronica is overwhelmed by a mix of heartbreak and fury. Harry tries to justify his betrayal, claiming he was looking out for himself and Amanda. He demands the money, but Veronica refuses. Harry attacks her, grabs the cash, and starts to leave. As he turns back to kill her, Veronica shoots him with the gun Linda used earlier, putting an end to his schemes. In the aftermath, the women's lives begin to turn around. Alice uses her share of the money to start a business. Linda buys back her shop and regains stability for her family. Belle, with her cut, moves to a new city with her kids, leaving the chaos behind. Meanwhile, Jack wins the election, riding on sympathy votes following his father's death. The movie closes with Veronica sitting at a diner. A man joins her at the table, and she hands him a portion of the money, requesting that it be used to build a library named after Marcus. With that, Veronica begins to find closure.